It's the final game of the 2012 Clover Hill varsity football season, and the Cavaliers will host the Skyhawks of L.C. Bird. Cavaliers are going to receive the opening kickoff, and it's Kyle Flaherty on the return. He's going to bring it back 15 yards before he's tripped up by the 25-yard line, and a penalty will be called against the Cavaliers, so that'll drive them back to their own 12-yard line. 1st and 10, and A.J. Fox gets a couple calls, and then a pass. Sam Allen hits Ty Farrell, but a fumble on the play, and the Skyhawks will recover with great field position at the Cavs' 28. A couple plays later, Paul Robertson's going to carry it in from 22 yards out into the end zone for a touchdown. Cavaliers hold him back a couple of times, but he finally breaks free and gets the touchdown for L.C. Bird. Jose Ayala kicking in the extra point, and it's 7-0 L.C. Bird early in the game. Cavaliers get the kickoff again, and this time it's Ty Farrell going to make the return. He brings it back 10 yards to the Cavalier 20-yard line where Carlos Condell brings him down for the Skyhawks. Sam Allen will hit Chase Stanley for a 6-yard gain, and that pass call complete, but that's about the best the Cavaliers get on this drive, as the next play Allen is sacked for a 10-yard loss and a fumble, but it's recovered by the Cavaliers, but the Cavs forced the punt away, and then it's Terrence Urban hitting Rasheed Worsham for a 30-yard gain into the end zone. Touchdown Skyhawks. They come out and try the two-point conversion. Worsham hitting Purcell Bervine, and that one's good, so the Skyhawks will lead 15-0 still in the first quarter. Cavaliers back out on offense after the kick, and number 4 trying to find some room. A.J. Fox doesn't get much, though, and again the Cavaliers end up having to punt it away back to the Skyhawks. Sean Payne and the Skyhawks are going to watch it roll and then decides to pick it up and run with it, but Sal Sadati slows him down, and then Kyle Flaherty and a host of other Cavaliers come in to make the stop, only a 4-yard gain on the return. But the Skyhawks are not done quite yet, and it's Paul Robertson. He's going to break it free for a 56-yard run and into the end zone. Touchdown Skyhawks. Still in the first quarter. The extra point attempt is good, so the Skyhawks will lead 22-0 over the Cavaliers. Clover Hill's going to get one more shot at it in the first quarter, but they'll end up having to punt it away, and the Skyhawks will take over early into the second quarter. Sean Payne's going to carry it back 13 yards on the return on the punt before Kyle Flaherty trips him up. But then it's Paul Robertson again finding some running room down the sidelines, and he's gone, headed down into the end zone, and Robertson tacks on another 6 points for the Skyhawks. The extra point attempt is blocked, though. Watch this with Darius Polk getting up there and getting a hand on it. So with that, the Skyhawks now lead 28-0 over the Cavaliers. Another kickoff from the Skyhawks, 35 yards to the Cavs 25, where Sal Sadati picks it up. He'll get 8 yards on the return. Jeffrey Pointer making the tackle for the Skyhawks. A.J. Fox going to carry a couple of times, gains a little bit of yardage, but again, Sam Allen has to punt it away, and on the return, it's Sean Payne picking it up, but losing the grip on it, and the fumble is recovered by the Cavaliers. Mike Davis getting the fumble for Clover Hill, so the Cavaliers get another shot at offense, and again, going to the go-to guy, A.J. Fox. He carries it for 6 yards, carries about 6 times on this drive. Cavaliers get a little movement. Then the Cavaliers completing a 12-yard pass play. That drives them into a first down, and further downfield, they continue to go back to Fox. Fox picks up a few more yards, and Allen sends it downfield and pass incomplete, but penalty against the Skyhawks for pass interference. So that puts the Cavaliers in closer down at the 10-yard line of the Skyhawks. Cavaliers getting their first shot at the red zone, and the Skyhawks watching on. Cavaliers just can't seem to get anything to develop, though. Sam Johnson tries it, and then Reed Harbert on the carry, and they're finally on a 4th and 3. Cavaliers are stopped, so the Skyhawks take over. But the Cavalier defense proving really tough on this drive. Deron Tyler, Brandon Tyson, and a couple other Cavaliers making key stops, and that again will give their offense good field position after the punt. So the drive is on, and Clover Hill, interception though. Skyhawks pick off the Cavalier pass. So the Skyhawks get the ball right back, and they'll continue to work their way against the clock as we're headed late into the second quarter. And finally, wrapping up the second quarter of play with the Skyhawks leading 28-0 going into the halftime break. Cavaliers watching their Cavalettes on the sidelines, entertaining the fans, doing what they do best, dancing it up, and always putting on a nice show for the fans, keeping the fans entertained, cheering on the Cavaliers. And we appreciate all the support from the band, the Cavalettes, the cheerleaders, and all our fans. And there's Dr. Marks, principal at Clover Hill High School. does not like to be filmed or photographed. Let me tell you that. Anyway, back to the action. Into the second half play. Cavaliers go for the onside kick and recover it. So Clover Hill gets the ball right back. Onside kick recovered. And that puts the Cavalier offense out. And Sam Allen hitting Sal Sadati for a 12-yard gain. Then again, it's A.J. Fox. He's going to pick up 15 yards on the carry. So the Cavaliers look like they got a drive going again. But again, the Skyhawks are able to stop them in the red zone. And the Cavaliers forced to turn it over on down. Skyhawks come back out with their offensive unit after Sam Allen tries one more time here and just can't hit Sadati in the end zone. So that was the fourth down play. Skyhawks out and getting some breathing room early. Paul Robertson breaking a couple of plays free. Picks up 15 on that one. Dylan Turner, Darius Polk on the stop. And then it's Jordan Smith and Deron Tyler making some stops. Also, Brandon Tyson having a good night. Brad Sprouse also having a good night for the Cavaliers on defense. But the Skyhawks, again, really tough. Look at that one there, getting a hand up on it and nearly intercepted there. But the Cavaliers able to hold off the Skyhawks a little bit on this drive. But again, they find breathing room, and this one headed to the end zone. And guess who? Paul Robertson. That's right. Cavaliers get called for a personal foul on that one. A lot of arguments on the sidelines about that one, and tell you, it was a lot of downtime with the officials trying to figure out what's going on here. But regardless, Skyhawks get it in. They score the extra point. It's 35-0 Skyhawks. And this is late now in the third quarter because the clock is running 35-0. Sets the clock running constantly. Cavaliers get an offensive attack going but have to punt it away. Again, the Skyhawks with the ball. This time, this Cavalier defense playing really tough as we go into the fourth quarter. And I'll let you watch some of the fourth quarter action going on here. And I just want to thank everybody this year, the team. Guys, it was a tough season, but I tell you what, this game, the guys really came out and played hard. They may have lost the game, but, always a big rival game against L.C. Bird. The guys were really on the ball tonight. Dylan Turner, several other Cavaliers having one of their best nights of the season. And on defense, Deron Tyler had 4 stops, including the sack. Kyle Flaherty with 3 unassisted tackles. Brandon Tyson getting 2 unassisted and 1 assisted tackle. Dylan Turner making several key plays during the game. You watch him deflect the pass away here in a few minutes. That one there upset. Almost intercepted that one. But the Cavaliers hold the Skyhawks at that 35 score. Many picked it to be a lot worse than that. So Cavaliers actually considering it somewhat of a successful night, even though they lost. Final game of the season. It was senior night as well. We said goodbye to all our senior players on the Cavalier team. Skyhawks will end up winning this one 35-0 over the Cavaliers. Not a winning season for the Cavaliers, but the coach is really happy how well the team came together, especially some guys that will be playing in the future for Clover Hill. Clover Hill loses 35-0 to the Skyhawks, and Coach O'Hare and Coach Bedwell probably talking about maybe the weather or something there. Say goodbye to 2012.